Hello everyone and welcome to the final webinar for Premier Club for 2017. So congratulations on getting all the way through. The idea is that hopefully you've hit Premier or above, or you're very, very close to it by now. So this is a very exciting time and we're end of month, so lots of high energy around. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Here we go. I'm talking about stepping into leadership. So congratulations, hopefully, that you have or are close to achieving the Premier rank in doTERRA. This is a really, really crucial and critical time in your doTERRA journey, and we're going to really shine some light on what Premier means today. So I just want to highlight the Belief Summit. So this is on sharesuccess.com, and hopefully you're quite familiar with sharesuccess.com now because there's so many really valuable resources that are on there. But this summit is just so on point for every single rank. And it goes through what belief you need to be working on when you're working towards a rank. So Elite really is all about belief in the product. Premier is about your belief in the company and the opportunity. And now if you're working towards Silver, you need to still be working on that belief in the product and the company and the opportunity. But we're really looking towards building this belief in you. And as you step into leadership, it all becomes about your belief in your ability to take that on. So that's what we're going to sort of be focusing and shining a light on between that Premier and Silver bridge today. So Premier, what does it mean? There's some really awesome things about Premier. So finally, you're more than covering the cost of your oils and you're supplementing your income. Even if it's just a little bit, it's money that's coming in that wasn't before. And so this was a really exciting time for me. You now have access to be able to go to leadership retreat. This is life-changing. Get there. We'll talk about that later. But this is where you really get to network with and hear from the absolute leaders in the field and get real inspiration about not just the company, but the business. You get access to the leadership support group. So there's a Facebook group specifically for in Australia for those who are Premier and above. And that's a place where people really focus in on the business. And that's a really valuable resource as well. And you get the empowerment bonus. So anyone who's Premier or Silver, you're going to get about $260 a month just for introducing at least one person into doTERRA with over 100 points. So that can make a huge difference to your business and your income. So there are some what I call Premier problems. Now, I personally, having sat at Elite for about 10 days and double ranked to Premier, I was very excited, but then I got stuck, shall we say, at Premier for 6 months. So I'm very familiar with Premier. I feel like I understand what needs to be done to move on from Premier. So it is very common for you to have no builders. You'll be the only one doing all the work. And don't think this is just you. This is just a Premier thing. If you do have somebody who's out there running classes in your team already, then you have struck lucky and you can run with that, and that's great. But the vast majority of us sitting there doing all the work. So you're very much an investment stage in your business. So that's investment of your time, investment of money, investment of your effort. So we're going to look into that a little bit later as well. You'll notice that if you're doing really well, if you're out there running classes, enrolling people, and your team's growing and you hit Premier, then your uplines are not going to be placing people in your team. And that's just because you're doing really well. So, but that can feel like, oh, I'm doing it all by myself. So leadership, what does that actually mean? So here's a summary that we're going to go through all of these. So leadership, you're a leader really if you have a team of one or more. It means showing up. It means having a leadership mindset. It means you need to be modeling, not walking down the runway modeling, but modeling business. You need to be investing. You need to be supporting, and you need to have a clear vision. So working through these, being a leader, having a team of one or more. I remember Hayley Weasley talking about this at One Tree back at convention in February or March, whenever it was this year. And she said, if you have one person in your team, then you are a leader. You're the person that they are looking up to for that. So if you have enrolled one person, then you need to step up and support them. So this is obviously way before Premier. So every one of you here has already become a leader in your own way. And it's just about developing on that skill from now on. So showing up. I cannot express this enough, that you need to show up to everything. So even if you think you know what's going to be said, you know what content's going to be shared, it is your job to show up, not just for your own value and that you will get something out of it that you didn't realize, that you've not heard before, but you are, again, modeling for your team what needs to be done, and you want them to show up, then you need to show up. So there's some really special things that you need to show up to. So leadership retreat, you now have access to this. So this is being held on the 20th to the 21st of July on the Gold Coast. And this, again, this is really, for me, I found more value in it for my business than convention, because it really focuses in on you and what you need to be doing. So get yourself there. Whatever you need to do, get yourself there. Convention, hopefully, you know, is 9th to 10th of March, and lots of events surrounding that. There's likely to be a silver and above training day, so hopefully you'll be there as well. I think that's on the 7th. So make sure you get to that, and also get your team there. So convention is the absolute best way to grow your business. They say on average, for every person in your team that you can get to go to convention, your team will grow by 50 people. And we are living proof of that. In our first year, my husband and I went, and we brought one team member. And in that year, our team did grow by 300 people, which, because we were out there doing a lot of work. The second year, we had around 30 people come. And by the time next convention hits, we'll have at least 1,500 more on our team. So that is about 50 people per person. So that is such a good, number to have in your head, and to just think that just every person that you can get there is going to really, really add value to your business. Anyone that goes to convention ends up sharing or building. Like, it's inevitable. You just see the vision, they see the company, they see what it's about, and they just won't be able to help it. Get yourself to every single training. Like I said, even if you think you've heard everything or you've heard those speakers before, you'll notice the people that continually show up to trainings are the leaders. Like, they're still there and they're still learning, but they're also representing their team and encouraging and being there to support them through whatever breakthroughs their team are going through as well. And that includes every corporate event as well. So just whatever there is, get there, as you know, without any question. Let me just turn that off. Moving on. Leadership mindset. What does this mean? So really, this is about moving on to silver. So although Premier is considered a leader in Australia at the moment, and it is the first step of it, the official leadership status is silver and above. So that's when you get your own account manager, and you're paid part of the leadership pools and that sort of thing. But it is never too early to start with your leadership mindset. So when we're moving from this Premier to silver, you know, moving from the belief in the company, or building on that belief of the company to a belief in ourselves, we have to do the personal development. It is absolutely inescapable. And I know for me, this is what held me back from silver along the way. So you need to be reading the books. So on sharesuccess.com/library, make sure you go there, make sure you're reading all the books that are specific to your rank. I think books like The Big Leap, Slight Edge, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that was a game changer for me in terms of how I manage my time and prioritize things. Then we've got podcasts, you've got your tapping, which hopefully you're already doing, you've got your writing out your manifestations daily. It's developing these really, really good habits in terms of time management, in terms of what you want to do. If you know you want to be posting a post on your Facebook page every day, it's just getting into the habit of doing that. Once it's a habit, it's done, it's easy, and you don't even have to think about it. It's really important to watch your money language. So it is an investment stage of the business, and the amount of work and effort and time that you're putting into the business won't be represented in how much you're getting paid right now. So this is the point where a lot of people do quit the business, because of this is just before the snowball effect. And it's really important that you don't get sucked down that, because you're literally, it's just before it's about to get good. So watch how you're talking about money and have this positive public attitude. So, you are now earning more than the cost of your oils. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be taking part in things. If there's a 200 PV promotion, say next month, I wouldn't be writing up on my Facebook account, oh, well, I'm just going to do a 100-point order because I can't afford it. How uninspiring is that going to be to your team? Think, well, she's hit Premier and she's, feeling poor. It doesn't give a good, energy to those who are following in your footsteps. So just watch how you're wording those things. If you have any issues with that, always just speak to your upline and see how you can work with that. For me, I really found reading Get Rich Lucky Bitch completely shifted my mindset over money. It allowed me to receive money, which is another big step towards my belief in myself and deserving a bigger paycheck. So that is a fantastic book to be able to read. Having zero expectations. So you are now the leader, and as I said, no one's going to be placing anyone in your team. So you just need to celebrate the fact that that means you're really strong and that you're doing really well. And you can always reach out to your upline for other types of support, even if it doesn't mean people are being placed in your team. So spew upwards. If you have an issue, go to your upline. Don't spew downwards to your downline. We always want to keep it inspirational and light, moving downwards. And if we've got problems, our uplines will have insight that will be able to help you to move forward. Right now, this is just the most critical time in your business. I believe that Premier is really the time where you set the culture and you set the tone for your team, which is going to have an impact and duplicate for the rest of your business. So it is really important that you're focusing on all the personal development that's going to set this culture and your tone for your business. So modeling, like I said, don't need to have like skinny body and super long legs. This is all about your business. So modeling really is about doing the business and doing it in your way, with integrity, with ease and with grace, with passion, and others will see you and they will want to follow in your footsteps. So you need to be focused right now on pipes. Getting to Premier does not mean suddenly sitting back and expecting people below you to run classes. You might have been really busy running classes and no one else might be doing anything. So now it's your time to move forward and actually do pipes even more. And so hopefully you're really familiar with pipes, the prepare, invite, present, enroll, support. And I would really be focusing on inviting, presenting, and enrolling, because these are the income producing activities. These are what will grow your business and what's going to move you forward and inspire others to move forward as well. So the DTC principle, or the DTFC principle from Chrissy Worthy, do the classes. Honestly, just do the classes. That is what will grow your business. And Diamond Club is part of that. Should have been a little subcategory there, but I felt like it needed its own point. Diamond Club. If you've hit Premier now and you've got 5 people in and out of area location on LRP and 5 people locally on LRP, and you're Premier and you get 3 personal enrollments in December, you qualify for Diamond Club. So if you don't do it, you're crazy. I'm just going to say that. You just should do it. Even if you just start out doing it, it just gives you extra incentives to do what you're already doing. If you're serious about the business, you should be out there running classes anyway. So Diamond Club just supports what you should be doing anyway. And again, there's been heaps of like webinars and information on Diamond Club, and just speak to your upline about it and whether that's something that you can take on. There are excuses as to why people can't, but the people that have actually been really successful at it have the biggest excuses that they could have sunk into. So it really is a choice. It's a choice for you whether you're going to do it or not. So modeling things like having a vision board, like, you know, if you want people to step up and build a business, then they need to be having a vision board. They need a why. So you need to have a vision board. You need to have your why. You need to be clear about what your why is, and you need to share that with your team. It's so important that you are role modeling what needs to be done. And again, just keeping this positive public profile to just maintain the energy and flow and your culture for everyone that's following you. So, and this sums it up beautifully, I think. So this is actually on my vision board, this exact little quote in this writing. So by doing what you love, you inspire and awaken the hearts of others. So just keep doing what you're doing and do it beautifully, and you will find builders, I promise you. So investing. So like we said, it is very much an investment phase of the business. So that is an investment of money because you might be, well, you have to be buying your oils, but you want to be buying your personal development books and all these things we're going to talk about in a second. It's an investment of your time, energy. You can invest your points, your doTERRA points. So just because you have more money now that's coming in doesn't mean you want to spend all your commission on oils. Like, we really want to make sure that maybe your fast start is reinvested back into your business or however you want to handle it. So that's investing about learning about the company. So again, just solidifying that Premier belief. So whether that's going to more and more events, or whether that's just searching online and watching all the YouTube videos about how all the oils are sourced and really having a deep understanding of what this is about. And then moving on to the personal development. So learning about the company is Premier. Personal development is about that belief in you and building your own value as well. So investing in books, investing in Audible. So I personally can't read. I can read, but I fall asleep every time I read. So I like to listen to Audible, which is just all the books for me to listen to when I'm driving to my workshops. So I am using the time that I'm driving to read, and I don't fall asleep when I'm driving, which is good. Things like e-courses are really important as well. Networking events. I know lots of people don't like networking events, myself included, but if you really want to grow your network, if you're like, oh, I've run out of all my warm market, I've gone through my whole 100 list, which I doubt you have, by the way. But even if you had, then start a new network. Go and do things that you love, things that you really enjoy. If you love singing, go and join a choir and meet people that have similar interests to you, so that you're doing things that you love, but you're also meeting new people. Setting up, developing new habits. So whether that's doing a meditation every day, or posting on Facebook on your social media once a day, but not getting distracted by all the other stuff on Facebook. So having these really clear disciplines in your life. And maybe not responding to things immediately. So, breaking some bad habits. Like I certainly felt the need to respond to every single message within a couple of minutes. And I was constantly on listening for, looking out for the ding on my phone. I've now turned the bing off so that I don't get that. And I just respond in my own time like any other business would. They respond within business hours. And it's about setting those boundaries and making sure your habits are really productive for your business. You can invest in help. So whether that's babysitters so that you've got them more freedom to go and run some more classes, or a cleaner so that you're not spending your time mopping the floors when you could be doing something, going out and running a class. So you've got your health. Can't say it strongly enough. Everybody should be on Lifelong Vitality. It will just give you the energy and the clarity to be able to do everything in the business. So please invest in your health by being on LLV. It will make such a difference to you if you're not already. And doing things like yoga or meditation or whatever feels right for you. So, everyone has different things that helps them feel healthy, but it's really important that you don't neglect that side. It's so important to focus in on self-love and self-care, because otherwise you can burn out, and you can burn out pretty quickly. So just really focus in on that as well, and make sure you're investing in that. You obviously have your points as well from doTERRA. So this is a really great way to invest back into your business. Instead of, again, having all your nice free oils for yourself, you could actually commit to, say, having all your points being reinvested back into your business as incentives. So maybe if anyone joins and goes straight onto a 100-point LRP at a class, you could give them a free oil, something that you've collected from your points, or something like that, whatever you feel was right for you, but that's a nice way of using that. And then collaborate. So hopefully you understand the compensation plan, that once you hit silver, your commission actually is, some of it is based on the entire, the success of the whole market. So it's not just based on your tree. So that way we know we want everyone in doTERRA to be doing, to be enjoying it and to be really using these really well. So even before you get to silver, hopefully you're still collaborating and just loving everyone that's in doTERRA and wanting everyone to join doTERRA anyway for their benefit. But it actually benefits you to be just promoting doTERRA all around. So certainly all my classes are open to the public, and I'm encouraging, and they have been from the start, others to join in on that and to really, feel the value of doTERRA, and you'll be rewarded for that as you hit silver as well. So supporting, people are now looking to you as a leader. So you do need to offer some sort of support, and this is obviously in that final S of the pipes. So I would say, where are we? Don't get distracted by from the pipes. So I have seen people who go immediately into support mode. They focus 100% of their energy on the people that are already in their team, which is beautiful and lovely and amazing. But you can't forget about bringing people in and actually building your business. Otherwise, it's not going to grow. It's going to maintain where it is, which is fine. But it's about finding this balance between supporting the people that are there and growing your business. Otherwise, you will find that you get stuck. So your team that you have now might feel really big, but it's only going to get bigger. So right now, stop and have a look at it and look at the people that are in there, because these people are basically now your core fan base, and your business is going to grow on from this. So love these people that are in your team right now, absolutely fiercely. What can you do to love and support them? And watch how your attitude and actions towards them will duplicate out as the business grows. So now is such a critical time to really shed some love on your team. Running classes for sharers is how you find builders. So again, running classes with your beautiful passion and integrity is how you find builders. Builders don't pop up. It's very rare to find somebody who says they want to build straight away and then actually does. So the vast majority of builders are people who just fall in love with the oils. They fall in love with you. They fall in love with what doTERRA is about, and they go from there. So just keep running classes with these people, supporting them regardless, even if you're outside of Fast Start and you don't get any money for running a class. Like I've run plenty of classes where I'm totally out of Fast Start. It's not about that. It's about inspiring people to want to do the business. It doesn't matter where they are in the team, as long as you're a little bit strategic and aren't giving all your time to people that aren't where is supporting your business for rank. But yeah, it's all about just inspiring the people that are there. It's also really important that you receive support. So as much as you are stepping into this leadership role, it really is just baby steps into the leadership role at this stage. And it's much more critical for you to actually step back and receive mentorship. So engage with your upline for support, and it might not be your direct upline. You may not resonate with them. So just go up until you find someone that you know can really support you. And you can also offer your support. So for example, if your team is doing something like oil camp, you could step up and say, well, I'm ready to be a coach. I want to be a coach in oil camp, or whatever your team is doing, whatever things are in there. So just work with your uplines. You're a team now. You're all on the same team, literally, and just work with them and make sure you're receiving guidance from them, because there is nothing that replaces the experience of those higher ranks and just going through all those belief summits. So just engage with them. And everything you do at this stage is going to duplicate. So just be really, really conscious of how you act in your culture. So, like we said before, Premier is a really super critical time in the business. So right now your team is really manageable and it's quite personable, even it might not feel it. So just feel that as much as you can. So it's a really, really good time to actually stop and ask yourself, where are you going? Like, how big is your team going to be? How many people are you going to be enrolling each month? And what's that going to look like? Is it still going to look the way you're doing it now? Is it all going to be classes? Or would you like to move your business online? Or do you prefer it in person? You know, ask yourself these questions. I remember, I think it was at Premier, that I knew that I wanted to get to Presidential Diamonds. So I stopped, and at that time, the only Presidential Diamonds I knew were Vanessa Jean and Hayley Hobson. I remember thinking, well, how do I want to be when I'm at that stage? So I started implementing things. I was like, I don't want to be being messaged at 11:30 on a Sunday night asking what's good for a sore throat. You know, what can I put in place that's going to support me when my team is absolutely thousands upon thousands of people? So it's a really good time to start streamlining and also to start building resources. Now, this should not be your main activity. This should be something that's like alongside the pipes. But you can look into things like Lead Train or MailChimp so that you can, email out newsletters, or and you can in MailChimp and Lead Train, structure it so that you can put people in one leg into one list and one leg from another. So if you really want to boost volume in one leg, you can just target an email newsletter out to this particular team. So look into that and how you can do that. It might be a really good time to set up a Facebook group. Now, I actually have 2 silver leaders. One who's only really just set it up this week, and one who still doesn't have one. So, and another one who's just set it up this week as well. So you don't need to rush into this. I would say if your upline has a really good Facebook group where things are really, people are posting things and there's people there asking questions, just key into that resource. Make sure that you're giving back and adding content into there. But when you set up your own Facebook group, you are going to be the only one in there posting. It's going to feel like a ghost town. It's going to feel very lonely. And the only way to build momentum is just to keep doing that, just to keep posting content, keep answering questions. You're going to be the main one in there answering questions. It can be very draining and it can take a lot of your time. So if it's not right to do that now, that's totally okay. You can branch off later when your team's a bit, already quite buzzy and big. And that's up to you. But just be really conscious of the amount of time a Facebook group does take at the beginning when you're the only one there. So create a resource or a video for every question that's asked. If you're being asked lots of annoying questions, we'll think, right, okay, these are the sorts of questions people are coming to me with. How about I make a 2-minute video on this? And anytime anyone asks me, I can just send them the link to that video, and then it's really, really super simple. And then once you have a place where they can go, say YouTube or your Facebook group or wherever it is, you can just say, oh, go and check in the group, and they can just search for it themselves, and it saves you a lot of time. And in terms of building those resources as well, like if you want to move your business online, then you need to start maybe thinking about that now. So do you want to have a blog? Then start now, write a blog post a week or a blog post a month or something. Just, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a whole library on there right away. But if you start doing little things now, then by the time that you are ready to be having an online business, you're going to have a really good base there in the background. And the same with your social media. So if you have a Facebook page, you could just be posting a post a week or a post a day. Don't let it overwhelm you, but if it's something that then gives your page more traction and it's just slowly building over time, then that's a really good thing. Wellness consults. So for me, my wellness consults now last about 10 to 15 minutes, but we connect and I get to know them and we sort out everything on that call. And the reason for that is because I force them to watch videos before we even have the call. So all the content that is the same for every single person is all done through video. And by the time we have the call, we connect straight into what their issues are. So you can do that. Start streamlining. What can you actually do? What are you doing over and over again, and just create systems for it. So keep the culture in mind. Everything that you're creating, make sure it is based in that your integrity and your your values and your beliefs right now, because they're going to be out there for good. And that's including, like we said, those boundaries of what you're comfortable with and when you're prepared to respond to things. Get good at prioritizing, because things are only going to get busier. If you read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that's really got so many great tips in there for managing your time. And like I said, it doesn't all have to be done now. This is about slowly over time and not distracting you from the core income producing activities of pipes. So we're going to think about what sort of leader you want to be, but I want to make sure that whatever that is, that it actually fits within the vision that is aligned with doTERRA values. So doTERRA is all about servant leadership. So however you want to lead your team, whatever culture you want to create, make sure that you're fitting into the doTERRA culture. So you can see here, a boss is the one that stands behind and tells people what to do and actually makes things heavier. A leader is out there pulling more weight than anybody else. So let's just make sure that we're all sticking to that. And this is what is just so gorgeous and beautiful about doTERRA. So what sort of leader do you want to be? So I really want you to stop and actually think about this. If you're watching the replay, just pause right now and write down on some paper. What do you want people to think of you? What do you want them to feel from you? What do you want to emanate throughout your whole entire team? And just maybe write some words down on a piece of paper. Okay, so you may have written some things down like this. Focusing on my team's interests and their needs. I want to have a team that's, I want to lead with integrity. These are all very, things that fit in with the doTERRA culture, but it's about you and how do you want to lead? This is your business. So make sure that you focus in on the words that are right for you, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of inspiration. So now we're going to talk about what does doTERRA not mean. Not doTERRA, what does leadership not mean? So absolutely, it does not mean ignoring the pipes. You are not sitting back and watching the rest do the work now. Up until Premiere, you've been practicing, and now is the time to really go out there and smash this business. It doesn't mean doing mentoring or team calls necessarily. It may be right for your team if you've already got some builders, but I've seen too many people do it and no one shows up because, people that are sort of manager, they don't feel like they're running a business yet. So they're not going to show up to team calls. And then that's really, it feels really bleh when they don't show up. So just key into your upline and, when it feels right, you'll know. It doesn't mean whinging about the fact that you're the only one doing anything. You're not alone. That's what Premiere is about. So just get on with it. And it does not mean telling people to do anything that you yourself are not doing more of. So get out there and model. So just in summary, growing. We're growing from our Premiere to Silver. So hopefully, even if you're not at Premiere yet, you'll be there very soon. So this rank is all about growing from the belief in the company to that belief in yourself, which all stems back to that personal development. Your leaders will emerge based on your spirit, your integrity, your inspiration, and your action. We want to be doing modeling over mentoring. Coined that term from Tess Godfrey, so thanks, Tess. So really taking action and showing others how to do it over telling them what to do. Keep the vision in mind always. How can I make this easier for the future? What culture am I setting the tone for right now? Everything duplicates, so just be conscious. Don't give up. This is the most point where people give up, and it is literally just before the snowball effect. It gets good, you know, when you get to gold and you've replaced your full-time income, it's really not that far away. If you just keep doing the pipes, you're almost there. So just keep on piping, you will get there. In doTERRA, if you keep doing the pipes, you cannot fail. You cannot. You just have to keep going. And do Diamond Club. Seriously, it will be what gets you there. So I hope you got something out of that. If there's anyone here who would like to ask any questions, I'll turn off the recording now.